Are you starting to see gray hairs and feeling like it's way too soon? Well, in this explainer, we are going to skip the temporary cover-ups and get right to a permanent natural solution for reversing premature gray hair. And it's all based on the incredible wisdom of Ayurveda. So if you're spotting those silver strands and thinking, wait a minute, I'm too young for this, you have come to the right place. We are going to break down a 3-step routine that aims for a permanent reversal, and we'll show you a powerful, all-natural dye for those instant results. So let's just dive right in.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we need to understand why hair goes gray in the first place. Then, we'll get into that permanent Ayurvedic solution, followed by the instant natural dye. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the diet, which, trust me, is absolutely crucial for keeping your natural hair color.
You know, to really fix a problem, you first have to understand what's causing it. So let's start there. Why on earth does our hair lose its color and turn gray? Okay, it really all boils down to one thing: melanin. The easiest way to think about it is like this. Melanin is your hair's own personal ink cartridge. You have these special cells called melanocytes, and they live in your hair follicles. Their job to produce this pigment that gives your hair its natural dark color. So what messes with the ink supply? Well, the main culprits are these little troublemakers called free radicals. Picture them as these tiny, unstable molecules that come from things like stress, pollution, and a bad diet. They literally go on the attack, damaging your melanocyte cells until they just stop producing melanin. And no melanin means no color. Simple as that. Now that we know who the enemy is, how do we fight back? This is where Ayurveda comes in, and it's a completely different approach. It doesn't just cover up the problem, it goes after the root cause from the inside out. We're talking long-term, permanent results. And look, this isn't just some theory. People have seen amazing results. The real secret to making these Ayurvedic remedies work is consistency. Because they're healing you from the inside, you have to stick with it. That's what leads to these incredible transformations. So the permanent fix is actually a really simple 3-part daily routine. It's all about taking 2 powerful herbal formulas and then applying a very specific medicated oil. Let's break down exactly what to do for each one. Okay, step 1 is Amalki Rasayan. This is a super potent form of amla, which you might know as Indian gooseberry. It is an absolute powerhouse of antioxidants. It goes to war with those free radicals and helps balance what Ayurveda calls Pitta dosha, basically excess body heat, which is a big contributor to premature graying. All you do is mix 1 teaspoon with 1 teaspoon of honey and eat it on an empty stomach in the morning. It helps nourish your entire body. All right, next up, after you've had your meals, you're going to take Bhringrajasava. This fermented tonic is a serious multitasker. It purifies your blood, it supports your liver, and it helps your digestion. Why does that matter? Well, it means the nutrients from your food can actually get to your hair follicles and do their job. Just mix 20 milliliters with the same amount of water and drink it down after a meal. And the final step is something you do on the outside: Neelibhringadi oil. According to ancient Ayurvedic texts, this is the single most effective oil for premature graying. What you do is gently warm it up, massage it into your scalp right before bed, and then just wash it out in the morning. This protects your hair follicles from damage and cools down the scalp, creating the perfect environment for healthy, colorful hair to grow. So that 3-step routine is your long game. It's for permanent change. But what if you're thinking, I need to cover the gray I have right now without using all those harsh chemicals? Well, let's get into a completely natural 2-step dyeing process that you can easily do at home. I mean, this really shows you the huge difference in philosophy here. Commercial dyes, they're often packed with chemicals like PBD and ammonia, which can really damage your hair over time. The alternative we're talking about uses only natural herbs, so it's not just coloring your hair, it's actually making it stronger and healthier in the process. Okay, the whole process starts with a henna base. You'll want to use an iron pot. That actually helps make the color darker. Mix your henna with amla and Bhringraj powders, then add some aloe vera gel for moisture and hot black tea until you get a nice paste. Now, you have to let this sit overnight. That's super important for the dye to release. The next day, you just apply it to clean hair, let it sit for 3 hours, and then rinse it out really well with just water. Seriously, no shampoo at this point. Right after you rinse out the henna, it's time for step 2, indigo. You mix the indigo powder with some warm water, make a paste, and you have to apply it right away. It loses its power pretty fast. And this is where you get to customize your color. For a beautiful dark brown, leave it on for about 40 minutes. If you want a deep jet black, you'll need to leave it on for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then, you guessed it, rinse with only water. Okay, listen up, because this part is absolutely non-negotiable if you want a great result. You have to wait 48 hours before you shampoo or oil your hair. The color needs time to oxidize. That's a fancy way of saying it needs time to darken and really set into that gorgeous, rich shade. Your hair might feel a little dry at first, but that's totally normal and temporary. It's just part of the process. So we've talked about internal remedies, we've talked about an external dye, but honestly, none of it will be as effective as it could be without the right foundation. And that brings us to the last and maybe the most important piece of this entire puzzle, your diet. You see, your body is incredibly smart. It has this built-in triage system. When you're not getting enough good nutrition, it sends all the good stuff to your vital organs first, your heart, your liver, the important stuff. Hair, as much as we love it, is considered non-essential. So a diet full of junk food is literally starving your hair follicles of what they need to make color. So what should you be eating? Try to focus on these 5 superstars for your hair. You've got amla for antioxidants, black sesame seeds, and copper-charged water, which help fight copper deficiency. That's a big cause of graying. Curry leaves for B vitamins, and raw onion for its sulfur, which is a key building block for healthy hair. So let's put it all together in a simple plan. Every day, you're doing Amalki Rasayan in the morning and Bhringrajasava after your meals. Every other night, you're doing that Bhringrajasava oil massage. Whenever you need it, you have your 2-step herbal dye, and the foundation for all of it, a daily commitment to eating a healthy, whole foods diet. This isn't really about fighting aging. It's about restoring balance and health to your body so it can do what it's supposed to do. So the real question is, are you ready to start nourishing your hair from the inside out and reclaim its natural vitality?